Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Absolutely fantastic game of football had in Motherwell this afternoon. A lot of questions to be asked about the Celtic and players and decisions that Brendan Rodgers made during the game. But what we want to do just now, we want to listen to the one and only Alistair Johnston, because he was man of the match and he's talking to Sky along with Callan.
Alistair, well done. How was that after a tough midweek?
It was important that we came out and put in a big performance. Again, the lads put in such an effort midweek, and we knew that they obviously didn't have a midweek game, and they went up for it thinking that we'd been a little bit tired, but we brought in a couple changes, some fresh legs, and the guys brought the quality, and you can see it with Luke. First start, got another goal for us, which was massive, and again, we knew the second half wore on, playing that kind of football, they were going to tire, and it was always nice to get some other guys back on the park. An important victory for us.
How important was it for the fact that Alistair Johnston scores an absolutely cracking goal for Celtic, but Lennon Miller, we need to talk about him. We'll talk about him in another video. Lennon Miller hit the post and then had an absolutely fantastic free kick, hit the crossbar. You've got to say, Schmeichel was nowhere near it when that ball come over. But let's listen to Alistair Johnston again.
Getting in about the goals this season, how much of an extra emphasis is on that for you this season?
Honestly, I haven't put too much of an emphasis on it. I just got lucky the one time I made a run into the box. Alex Valley picked me out. It was harder to miss than to score that one. So, no. Again, if they go in, if I can help the team in any way, I'm glad to do it. But, not something that I'm actively looking to do. But if they're going in, they're going in.
Yeah. Day wearing the captain's armband to start. You gave it to this man. How did it feel to be back, Cameron?
Yeah, no, it was good. Obviously, I missed a bit with an injury. But, it's good to be back out there today. And, hopefully I can kick on now and keep going.
It was interesting that Brendan Rodgers made a massive decision during the game to bring on Cameron Carter-Vickers. We all thought, who does he move on? Does he move over Trusty in place of Scales? Does he take Scales off? But no, he took Alex Baye off and moved Scales over to the left back area. But we just all hope that Cameron Carter-Vickers is over the injury and he can crack on. But what does it say about Greg Taylor? We need to talk about that in another video also.
Frustrating has that been? Obviously some really big games as well. Is it tough to watch on?
Yeah, it's obviously difficult to watch, and I was proud of the boys midweek. I thought they put in a great performance. I had it for a little while. I had it for like a few months now, but so I was kind of playing with it. But it's kind of time to rest it and get right. So that's what I've done.
Well, the man next to you gave you the armband. If you could do the honours and give him the William Hill Player of the Match
Alistair
award.
Johnston getting man of the match with that cracking header that was put in by Alex Baye. You've got to say, it was an absolute cracker, wasn't it? It was an absolute cracker of a cross. But we move on. Next up was obviously the manager, Brendan Rodgers, and we're going to listen to see what he had to say to Sky Sports after the game today.
Brendan, how satisfying was that after a tough midweek?
Yeah, it was a very, very good win for us, a very good performance. Second half, obviously, really, really good. We just said at half-time we needed to switch the ball. You're playing against that 5-3-2 system. The key in it is just making your switches and double switches, and probably a little bit too much first half. We got stuck down one side, but when we did do it, then it obviously led to the first goal.
It was interesting that we got a lot of the stuff was going down the side of James Forrest the first half, but when we switched it to Alex Baye making runs and getting some crosses in, it completely changed the game.
And you always got to be mindful with Motherwell, because they're always well organised with Stuart and his team. They get talented players, get gifted players that can hurt you, but I thought then second half, right from the very first minute of that first, we controlled the game really and managed the game really, really well, and ended up should have been more comfortable by the end. So it was a great credit to the players.
I noticed that it hasn't been asked about the incident that should have been a penalty, in my opinion, when the goal was chopped off, even though it did hit Dijsselmeijer's hands. If it was chopped off for the fact that it hit his arm, why was it not pulled back for then to give a penalty to Celtic? Celtic had the opportunity to go on in the dying minutes of the game also, with Lewis Palmer hitting into the side netting rather than just slipping in near the front post.
Spoke before the game about Luke McCowan getting his first start, and of course he popped up with the goal. How pleasing for him, and what did you make of his contribution?
Yeah, excellent. He's the reason to bring him in was we know that he's got those goals in him, and his attitude and energy and professionalism is superb. So now he deserves his start, and like I said, it was a really, really good finish. He comes into a really good position that we want him to be in, connects the game, gets a little bit of fortune when it drops to him, but then he finishes it really well. And we've seen that at Dundee, we've seen it in training, and very happy for him.
How pleasing to be able to introduce Cameron back into things as well, and a clean sheet for the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, I thought that the two centre halves were very good. Austin and Scalesy, they were excellent. But it's important for us. We not a lot of training time to try and introduce the players in to get some minutes in the legs, and good to see Cam back.
It was interesting that he took Alex Baye off and didn't bring on Greg Taylor, though, which he wasn't asked about by the Sky reporter.
Is Adamida okay? Obviously, the red card challenge. Did he take a sore one? How is he?
Yeah, I think it felt a bit numb for him at first. It's not a great challenge, but I don't think the players tried to hurt him. But the problem is when you leave the ground and then it rocked his ankle, so he was struggling for a little bit after that. But then I think once he got moving, it was okay. So we just have to wait and see when he takes the boot off. But I'm sure there'll be a wee bit of swelling there.
A little bit of swelling on his ankle. We've all done that before. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Good seeing what Brendan Rodgers had to say. What do you think about the fact that Greg Taylor was not brought on for Alex Baye, and Brendan Rodgers decided to go with, Liam Scales at left back?